Yes, here we are again. Wonderful 9 o'clock on Friday evening. Yes, welcome to Gay Detroit Radio. I'm James D. I'm your host. And we're with good old Radio OP. That's radio, www.radio-op.com. Ah, dear, what a week it's been. There's lots and lots and lots of bullshit to talk about as usual. Well, actually, you know, the story of the week has got to be the assholes, the designers, Dolce & Gabbana. I mean, what the hell is up with two gay guys turning around and saying, we don't agree with in vitro synthetic children and the rooms for rent, I do apologize. And it's just going on and on and on. And then we've got Michigan. Michigan, what is hell? Schneider and Schutte have really got to be the complete assholes of the fucking year, because now they're passing bills allowing tax-funded religious adoption agencies to discriminate. Lots and lots and lots and lots to talk about. Presbyterians approved gay marriage in their church constitution, which the Episcopalians have been doing that for quite a while. So this is good. At least some common sense is coming to some religious organizations. Once again, lots to talk about. Let's have some music, and then we'll get into it. I'm James D., and you're listening to Gay Detroit Radio. And we'll start with Nikki Holland, good old friend of mine. I would like to actually get her back on the show. But before that, don't forget, tonight we've got at Willoughby. They're the featured artists this week. And very interesting. We'll be talking to them a little bit later as well. I'm James D. once again. You're listening to Gay Detroit Radio, and here's a bit of Nikki Holland and Secrets.
Watch me in the corners of your eyes. You're dancing here, that's why I came. I strip you naked in these pictures in my mind. My needs, my wants are hard to tame. Now I wanna run to you, pick you up between your thighs, just to hear you gasp and speak my name. Why do we run? Why do we hide? Why must I be your secret? You come back to hold on, you lock me inside, just to hear you breathing as your hips beneath me rise. Let's dance a way you've never seen. I want to creep in you, open the depth of you inside, surrounded by the musk of you and me. You saturate me with the pleasure in your cries, and I won't let go until you scream. Why do we run? Why do we hide? Why must I be your secret? You come back to hold on, you lock me inside. I'm in your eyes, your hands, your legs, your hair, under your fingernails. I'm in your underwear. Keep it down, keep it down, keep it down. I promise to tell no one. Play along with all the lies. If you'll say that later we can meet, and I'll keep your secret from the public scornful eyes. If that's what it takes to get relief, just know that one day I'll lay it out to your surprise. They don't really care, it's what you perceive. Why do we run? keep your hands, your legs, your hair until your fingernails. I mean, you know where to keep it down.
Yes, the wonderful dulcet tones there of good old Nicky Holland and Secrets. So, as I was saying, the biggest uproar this week was actually about Dolce & Gabbana. Says now they're actually backlashing, saying that Elton John was selfish for having kids, and that in vitro was synthetic kids, and it was like having wombs for rent. And what is up with these idiots? Anyway, apparently they had an interview, and they said, "Oh, we love everybody now. We love Elton John, and God knows what." So it was just like the whole world exploded. Madonna has come out against Dolce & Gabbana. Victoria Beckham, she says she's cutting up and burning everything of Dolce & Gabbana. Elton John is really saying, really outraged about, how dare you call my children synthetic. And we've got Ricky Martin, and they're just like, well, we don't know what we've done wrong. We're trying to we come from this age where everything was different, and we don't think that gays should have children or get married or whatever. And these are two openly out gay guys who have obviously just completely lost all touch of reality, and they're just so totally with their heads up their asses, and they're just so narcissistically rich and untalented now because they're just not really getting it. But apparently the Christian Concern CEO has actually applauded Dolce & Gabbana. It's supposed to be Dolce and Gabbana, but I do the Dolce e Gabbana because that's how they pronounce it in Europe, sorry. But the head of the Christian Concern has launched an outspoken attack on Sir Elton John and David Furnish. David Furnish is his husband. And they waded into Dolce & Gabbana boycott row by applauding the fashion duo's condemnation of non-traditional same-sex parents and children born through IVF. This woman, what is it with these women? Just completely, why a woman is so against people having families is untrue. I'm not trying to be sexist here, but these idiotic Republican bloody men who actually prefer to control all women's uteruses through law, by not allowing abortions, by not allowing some sort of birth control because of religious beliefs. This thing with Hobby Lobby, that was totally ridiculous. Now everywhere is all sort of jumping on the religious freedom, the bandwagon. Now Michigan has jumped into it too, which I'm really, really not surprised because Shitty Shooty and Sneaky Snyder have just completely, they're just shown their true colours. The Michigan House has now passed this bill allowing tax-funded religious adoption agencies to discriminate. Now, I don't understand this, but maybe somebody can actually point this out to me or probably tell me about this, because if you're a federally tax-funded religious adoption agency, then you're actually putting your views into the church and state. So therefore, if you're federally funded by the tax system, you are not allowed to discriminate, even though it is religious freedom. This is not religious freedom. This is religious hate. This is religious pointing the finger. God never told anybody to stop adopting children because it was two guys who loved the child or two girls who loved the child. God never said that. Ever. And don't start this thing with Adam and Eve and Adam and Steve and God knows what, because I'm telling you, actually, really, if you really want to know, it's actually, it's called Homo sapiens. We're Homo sapiens, not heterosapiens, not heterosexual sapiens. So get over it. And actually, if you think about it, Eve was actually born of Adam's rib. So doesn't that make her a male as well? And where does all the brothers and sisters come from? Because this has got to be the most dysfunctional family ever. The first-born family. Thievery, naked, talking snakes. And then they have 2 children, Cain and Abel. Cain murders Abel. So there's the first murder in the first family. And then where does the rest of the children come from? There was no mentions of brothers and sisters. So who's been screwing who? I mean, are we going to throw incest into this as well? Because if that's the first family, really, religion, you've really fucked up somehow. Anyway, that's that. So the Republican-controlled Michigan House of Representatives this afternoon, actually just the other afternoon, just passed 3 bills that will allow faith-based or religious adoption agencies, despite receiving about $10 million annually from state and federal taxpayer funds, to discriminate against same-sex couples. Now, I want to know why this is happening. This is federal money. And SCOTUS has actually overturned the ban on the marriages. What is going on? They cannot do this. There's got to be something stopped here. Because if it's federally funded, you cannot discriminate. And if you're a religious freedom, a religious organization, how dare you discriminate? There's only one judge, and that's God. Talking about somebody who's now actually starting to get some common sense is the Presbyterians. They've joined in the ranks of the Episcopalians, who've been actually for years helping the GLBT community, or LGBT community, or is it LGBTIQ or something like that now, for faith. Because just because we are lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgender doesn't mean to say we don't believe in God. We do believe in God. We just don't believe in man's version of God's rules. You're so judgmental. This is disgusting. So the New York Presbyterian Church in the US of A has recognized marriage for all of its congregants. Well done. It's about bloody time. The thing is, I've always said this from day one, even if you don't agree with us, jump on the bandwagon. Lots and lots of money to be made, because they've actually projected that in just Michigan alone, same-sex marriages will generate up to $53 million. That's $53 million. And yet Michigan, with Shitty Shooty and Sneaky Snyder, don't want any part of it. Well, he'd rather take all the money away from the schools, wouldn't he? And pretend he's going to spend it on the roads. The University of Alabama has now lost $15 million in donations over the state's refusal to support same-sex marriage. You see, this is what people are starting to do now. They understand what it's all about. Stop with the bull. You're going to have to really, hit them in the wallet. Once they get hit in the wallet, they don't like it. So a same-sex couple with a record of giving to the University of Alabama have pulled plans to donate their estate to their alma mater. Well, that's good news. I'm sorry, but you know what? If you want to play those silly, stupid games, get lost. I'm just so fed up with these people. All right, let's have some music. Let's see. I think I decided what I was going to do. Yes. And let me just find out where I am, because I've just realised I've forgotten what I'm going to play next. What am I playing next? Ooh, Jamesy. Ah, dear. It's just wonderful. Let's have some music, and then we'll decide later. I'm James D, and you're listening to Gay Detroit Radio. Oh, yes, that's it. It's Bathtub Gin. It's from our guest last week. Don't forget our guest this week. And we have at Willoughby, right here on Gay Detroit Radio. I'm James D, and we'll talk to you a little bit later. And here we have Bathtub Gin.
Rambling in the back room, gambling in the smoke room. The coppers in the alleyway, they're coming up the back seat. She asked me what I want to drink, I asked her if she ever thinks. She looked at me like she knew me when she walked away. She gave a wink. I don't know your name, but please just let me in. The liquor store's been closed for years. I know you got better gin. Ooh, let's get it up. Drinking from a paint can, chasing down a mailman, swinging from a tree branch, swinging from a ceiling fan. Learn me what I never know, take me where I never go. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't tell them where the water flow. I can't see your face, but you look just like my kin. This potion's got me all mixed up. One more better gin. Let's get it up. Walking on a sand dune, looking like a dry prune. She says she loves my music, but I'm always singing out of tune. I'll take it as a compliment on every single continent. I can now like an alley cat, my silence is my dominant. I could never read, but baby, I can sing. Oh, come on over to my place for a world that better gin. Take me down the boot camp, lick me like an old stamp, whip me back up in the shape and shake me like a leg cramp. Tell me that you wish me dead, slide me right upside the head, chew me up and spit me out. There's no one that I'd rather with. Baby, I can't lose because I was born to win. So what if I'm an outlaw, getting rich off better gin? Yeah, ooh, let's get it up.
Yes, the wonderful dulcet tones there of Xander Michigander, who he was on our show last week. What a great guy. And there was the bathtub gin. I liked his style, very much liked his style. Also, don't forget, a little bit later, just after this segment, we're going to have an interview with at Willoughby and a couple of their songs as well. So they're definitely going to be a nice welcome change, some more interviews. And next week, I do believe we're going to be talking to a lady and one of the organisers of Ferndale Pride. That's coming up in June, and we'll see how that goes as well. So let's see what's going on now here. Now, this is rather disturbing, again, once again with the Catholic Church. Now, the Catholics are now using the religious liberty to refuse to compensate these sex abuse victims. See, this is why I think this is just a complete crock of crap, mainly because this is how they wanted to get out of paying all the millions, in fact, it's up to like billions of dollars that they have been sweeping under the carpet because of the child molestations against their priests. And, nobody's going to forget this. There's little argument that the Constitution's framers intended religious freedom to mean exactly that. Freedom to worship without government intrusion or interference. However, due to a deceitful plot by the United States Council of Catholic Bishops in the early 1980s, the concept of religious liberty has become a powerful tool to impose religion on the people and disregard the nation's laws. That's including the Constitution, in an ironic twist as a result of the Catholic justices on the nation's highest court. For the second time in 6 months, this highly ranking Catholics are exercising religious supremacy over the nation's judicial system. This is exactly what we didn't want. This is now an organization that now thinks it's above the law. It allows its people who work for it, because that's exactly what it is, their priests are supposed to work. They are the mouth or the pawns of the Catholic Church, and now they are above the law even when it comes down to abusing your children, our children. So they can do anything they like, and it's now this, and this is why they got the religious freedom. This has to stop. I'm afraid it's got to the point now where really, this is just way too much power. Way too much power. They are above the law now. This is just not good. Not good at all. This is just totally ridiculous. They can do anything they want. Simple as that. They don't pay any taxes as it is, and yet they're ruining the lives of your children, our children. And they don't give a fuck. Simple as that. And that's in the name of religion. So, you've got to get some power sorted out here because, ladies and gentlemen, you're the ones who are allowing this to happen. And you're electing idiots who are actually safeguarding these assholes, basically. There's a guy here, Matt Staver. He's said he will disobey SCOTUS, that's the Supreme Court of the United States, SCOTUS marriage equality ruling, just as he'd refuse to turn over a few Jews or a Jew over to the Nazis. What the hell has that got to do with this? So now he's equating SCOTUS to the Nazis, or the ruling of the law to the Nazis. Where is all this coming from? And is everybody saying, that we're a homo-fascist and God knows what? We are not trying to destroy the institution of marriage. That's been already done, especially when your divorce rate is pushing 60%. That's 6 out of 10 people are getting divorced, their first divorces. 6 out of 10 people. So how are we destroying the institution of marriage when it's completely trashed already? Divorce. If you want to stop the institution of marriage being destroyed, how about stopping divorce? Because that's the thing that's destroying the institution of marriage. It's just too easy to get a divorce. Or up the marriage, what the age of to when you get married till you're about 30 or something like that. It's just ridiculous. It's just, I don't know where these people get these ideas from. And then there's one church here now, the San Francisco's largest evangelical megachurch is to allow now non-celibate homosexuals to be its members. Whoop-de-fucking-do. What's that about? The elder board of the San Francisco largest evangelical church, the City Church, has announced that the megachurch will end its practice of preventing LGBT people from becoming members if they are unwilling or unable to practice lifelong celibacy. I think fuck off springs to mind personally. Who needs you? Absolute trash. Okay, let's have some more music, and then after this we're going to have our little friends at Willoughby talking a little way and have some music from them. Here's a song I like. It's called, I recorded this myself a little while ago. It was done originally by Ralph McTell in England, and it was originally called The Streets of Paris. Then he changed it to, it's now The Streets of London. And I've done it and made it Detroit style. I put it into the streets of Detroit. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm James D. And you're listening to Gay Detroit Radio. And you're going to have the songs of Streets of Detroit by James D.
Have you seen the old man inside the closed down market, picking up the paper in his worn out shoe? In his eyes you see no pride, his hand closed loosely by his side. Yesterday's paper telling yesterday's news. So how can you tell me say for you the sun don't shine? Let me take you by the hand, I'll lead you through the streets of Detroit. I'll show you something to make you change your mind. to come. Each time less an hour, then he was home alone. So how can you tell me you're lonely, and you say for you that the sun don't shine? Let me take you by the hand, I'll lead you through the streets of Detroit. I'll show you something to make you change your mind. And have you seen the old man beside the scene of his mission? Memory fading with the metal ribbons that he wears. In our inner city, the rain cries little pity for one more forgotten hero, and the world doesn't care. So how can you tell me you're lonely, and you say for you that the sun don't shine? Let me take you by the hand, I'll lead you through the streets of Detroit. I'll show you something to make you change your mind.
Yes, welcome back to Gay Detroit Radio, and that was a wonderful sound there of the streets of Detroit. And just before the song, I did say we're going to have a young man called Al, and he's with a project called At Willoughby, and his talking points and a couple of songs as well, and based in Detroit, I believe. Alan, welcome to Gay Detroit Radio.
James, how you doing? Gay Detroit Radio, thanks for having me.
Oh, good. Now, listen, now you see this is like a working project. Can you explain that?
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's more, I guess it's a band, bare bones, it's a band, but, you know, if it's just me or just me and the keyboard player, or me and the drummer, we're still at Willoughby, you know, the main rolls on no matter what.
All right, so there's like basically three of you.
Yes, it's me, Carissa on the keyboard, and Adam on the drums.
So what kind of, what would you say the genre of your music is?
I'd say it's pretty much an indie. We got little elements of country, poppy. It's, you know, poppy and acoustic.
Okay, so how you sound as though you've just more or less got together. Is it a brand new project, or is it something that you've all been sort of been tossing around for a while?
Well, as far as the band, it's fairly new. It's just over a year old.
Wow. Like virgin.
Yeah, but,
you're like virgins.
Yeah. Exactly. Relatively speaking, right?
Yeah, well, hey, listen, whatever floats your boat. But, no. So am I like your first interview?
No. I was actually on with.
Do you know you're just taking the fun out of it. I wanted to, you know, be like you, virgin, break you in, that sort of thing. You know, sort of. So I'm just busting your balls. I'm sorry.
That's all good.
So, what made you decide to get together? Like I said, because it's just new, your year. What kind of feedback are you getting from your gigs?
Well, the reason it all came together at first is because really, a long time ago, I started out on drums in a band. Mm-hmm. Well, long story short, the band fizzled out, but we had shows that we had to pull together mm-hmm. that we were still committed to. I'm sorry. So I started another band with a drummer and a bass player, and we finished out the shows. We kept going a little bit. Mm-hmm. We lost the drummer. We got a new drummer. Lost that drummer. Got the original drummer back. Lost that drummer. Got a new drummer. And eventually the drummers ran out, and it was just me. So I'm stuck there filling slots that we had that band booked. Okay. So I was playing around acoustic by myself for quite a bit. But it eventually gets to a point, it gets very hard to book, especially at bars and stuff, being an acoustic act. Yeah. So really what I wanted to do is get a band together so I could have that band, but I also had the option of knowing that worst comes to worst, I could go up there by myself and kick some ass.
Now, how's the personalities work? Because the first thing, like you just pointed it out, it's like if a drummer comes, a keyboard comes, then one decides they're not happy, so they go. And have you all got this, this personality that you're all more or less, the chemistry's working together?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And it works on all kinds of levels because we've done acoustic shows and we've done, hard rock shows and everything, everything just fits in this nice little package here.
All right, well, let's have one of your songs and we'll see, because I've actually heard them earlier and I think they're really good. So introduce the first song, please.
Okay, are we going to go with the slower one, or are we going to go with a little bit of a poppier one right now?
Whichever, because you sent me two songs, so we're going to play them both. So which one do you want first?
Okay, well, let's start off slow. This song's called Just Tonight, and it's a little bit slower than we'll end it on the other one. But yeah, this song's called Just Tonight. You can get it on my SoundCloud. So,
okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's Al at Willoughby, and the song is called Just Tonight. And you're listening to Gay Detroit Radio, which is on www.radio-op.com. And I'm James D. I'm your host.
Up at me with a tear in her eye. I break this stare with a line, but I'm a fool to believe these eyes are for me. But the only bed tonight are mine. So nice, 'cause some of them want the way to say goodbye. I don't want the sun to rise. I don't even care, it's alright. 'Cause up at me with a tear in her eye. I break the stare just tonight, but I'm a fool to believe these eyes are for me. The only one tonight is my mind. I don't want the sun
The lovely dulcet tones there of At Willoughby, and Just Tonight. A nice little song there. Now you said that's more like a little country, a little sort of folky, that sort of thing that you like to put in. Because everybody wants to pigeonhole everything, and I don't know why. You know, I mean, if you like the music, just for God's sake, just say you like it. Now, At Willoughby, where did you get this name from? Because it sounds very sort of like children bookish, like an English, like Enid Blyton book or something like that. At Willoughby, you know, it's like Toad at Toad Hall. Where did you get the name from?
It's actually from a Twilight Zone episode. Big fan of the writing of Rod Serling.
Okay.
Yes, I could watch his stuff all day, man. That guy sure knew how to write.
All right. So, what's it? What? God, what episode was that then? What made you give you the At Willoughby?
Just in it's more of like a thing of what's happening and where you're at, and
no, I'm just like interested, you know, because like everybody gets some sort of name. Some actually just sort of say, well, what they've had for breakfast and then the color of their pants or something. That's the biggest name, you know. So
yeah,
I like to know where all these music, you know, all these like names come from. So now gigs, future gigs. Where are you, and where can people see you?
Okay, I have a series of acoustic shows that are the last Sunday of every month, and they're called Last Stop Sundays, presented by At Willoughby, and that is at the Berkeley Front. Doors are at 6:30. It goes until 9, and it's $4 at the door. The next one we have coming up is March 29th.
Okay.
And then you could just follow that. Like I said, it's the last Sunday of every month, and we'll have 3 acts, and then myself as well, and it's just basically playing, you know, trying to get rock bands doing stripped down acoustic sets.
Okay.
Just get around, have a good time, and
I got spoiled because I did the bar scene, you know, quite a few years ago, and then I stopped doing cover versions. And then I started doing my own stuff. And I stopped doing the bar scene after a while because it's like, oh, God, these drunken people. And it was like, nothing that there's anything wrong. It's like, you know, they say, well, do you know any Elvis? No, he's dead. Just
Free bird.
Do you know, every time I just do this, it's every time. All right, okay. Right, let's get another song, all right?
That sounds great.
Okay, and which song is this one? What's it called?
This song is called I Only, and it's a little bit of a poppier one. And this is an acoustic version, but we have a nice full band version that's a nice poppy little tune.
Okay, all right. Well, let's listen to it. And what's the title again?
I Only.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alan and At Willoughby from the Twilight Zone and I Only. I like that explanation. That's really good. Ladies and gentlemen, you listen to Gay Detroit Radio. I'm James D. And here's a song called I Only.
She rides on me, and everything I say she will believe. And honestly, I can't see what she sees in me. Her eyes on me, and everything I say she still believes. And all those little things you are to me take a back seat. I don't know everyone, but I met her. She said I'll wait for you, just give a word. A million questions can't be answered right. I don't know what happened that night. You're much more fun, and I haven't met this much in far too long. And I don't wanna said I'll wait for you, just give the word. A million questions can't be answered right. I don't know what happened that night.
A nice acoustic sound there of Alan at Willoughby, and there's three of you now. There's is it Carissa?
Yes, that's correct.
And then Adam. All right.
Yeah.
So, what did you meet? You actually met in Detroit, or did you put like a Craigslist thing out or something like that?
Well, I met Adam through other bands and stuff, and we played around. Our respective bands have played together many times, and we just finally decided that, hey, let's just play together too, And Carissa is actually my cousin, so I spent some time growing up with her.
Okay, all right. I'm not going to go for the kissing cousins and playing with her either. So let's just let. So, how do they contact you, Alan?
On Facebook, you could search at Willoughby and add us as a friend and stay up on all of our shows, any news. You can hear about the wacky adventures of our manager, Lou. You can find us on Twitter at WilloughbyDET. You can find us on Instagram. You can search at Willoughby, SoundCloud at WilloughbyDET.
Okay.
And, and
everything's so simple. It's at Willoughby. That's WILLOUGHBY at Willoughby. Alan, an absolute pleasure. And I'd like you to come back again and give us a progress report on how you're doing.
I'd love to be back. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, Alan, thank you ever so much. Ladies and gentlemen, you've listened to young Alan there. A couple of really nice songs. And you can get him at Willoughby. That's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. It's like everything. Just think of at Willoughby and you'll find him anywhere. And he's going to come back. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to Gay Detroit Radio. I'm James D. Let's have some music.
The beauty of a child gets tainted every day. And of all the things we love, there's that much more to hate. Broken promises are all that we can get from the politicians that allow us to live in hope, in pain, in every part of every day. We drink defeat. All the world is bittersweet.
once again, as another week that's just passed by so quickly. A little brief recap of what's going on. Michigan is held for this, now allowing the religious freedom. A little bit of sad news as well. All Right Now bassist Andy Fraser died. Tributes have been paid to the gay musician Andy Fraser, famous for the song in the legendary 1970s hit All Right Now. His death was announced a couple of days ago. The London-born musician became a founding member of the British group when he was just 15. Fraser wrote most of the material with the free lead singer Paul Rodgers, who went on to front bands like Bad Company and The Firm. So, only 62. Good God, that's no age these days, you know. Also, I am so fed up of this now. Texas Attorney General wants to prevent gay workers from caring for their sick spouses. Republican Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton with Ted Cruz. They don't want gay employees to be able to take time off from work to care for their ailing spouses. Do you know, I am so sick of their evilness. They are just really nasty pieces of work. I'm just so pissed off with these assholes, really. And then this is rather... Heather Barrack says she's against gay marriage because she missed out on having her father around when she was growing up. The 31-year-old mother of 4 admits that her mother's partner treated me as if I was her own daughter. She also says that her biological father wasn't a great guy and didn't bother coming around anymore. But despite being an advocate for gay marriage in her 20s, Barrack now says she's had a change of heart. My father's absence created a huge hole, and I ached every day. I loved my mom's partner, but she could never have replaced the father I lost. A miserable bitch. Please. You know, what about all these single parents? Get over it. My God, 2 loving parents and still not enough. What can I say? Let's have a bit of music, and then we're going to wind up the show. Here's a bit of Cullen Blue and Rex Tremonde. I'm James Dean. You're listening to Gay Detroit Radio.
Rex is what you title a king, man full of generosity. Power in his eyes, strength in his voice, strength in his eyes. For his excellency, when he appears virtually in front of your eyes, in all of his might, with all of his strife, you'll see at the beauty within, every smile, every laugh, every grin, deep in your souls, bathing in hope, bathing in love, and trust and honor. On his ass, he got right back up again and again and again.
Well, that's it for this week. Once again, another hour has flown by. Next week, we've got a young girl, and she's going to be on talking about the Ferndale Pride. That's the Gay Pride in Ferndale. That's coming up in June, so we're going to be talking about that. The first one, because I couldn't get it for the other year. But she's going to let us know what it's all about. So, that's really, hey. Yes, we've got another interview next week. So, ladies and gentlemen, I do hope you enjoyed yourself. I'm James D. I'm your host, and we shall see you at the same gay time. The same gay place. And probably, excuse me, the old same gay attitudes and arguments from these idiotic politicians. I'm James D. You listen to www.radio-ob.com. You can get me on gaydetroitradio@gmail.com. Oh, good heavens, frog in the throat. And gaydetroit.com, it's a website, and gaydetroitradio.com website, and then there's Facebook, Gay Detroit Radio, and also you can give me as James D. See you next week. Bye.